We're going to talk about linears that are not proportions. And today's assignment's not too bad. All right, so they might give us an equation. And ask us to build a table, to make a table. All right, first things first. Sometimes they will have numbers in there that they want you to plug in. Sometimes they don't. If they do have the numbers, then you plug in the numbers they give you. If they don't, here's the numbers you always plug in. -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Now I got a question. Why do you think we would want to use those 5 numbers? Crosby.
Because it shows a negative even number, a positive even number, a negative odd number, and a positive odd number, and then 0?
Kind of, but not really. Why do we want those 5? There's a reason. Is it because I want to torture you?
Mm-hmm.
No. You're wrong. Let's think about a graph. Why do we want to use -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2? Why do we want to use those 5 numbers? Why not 100, 200, 300, 400, 500? Is the question. Because we technically can plug in any numbers we want. Tucker, what do you think? Why those 5?
Because those are the same 5 up there, so you have to match the graph with the plot.
Look at the graph, people. Why do I not want to plug in 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I could plug in 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, but I ain't gonna, because why not? Thank you. These are the 5 closest numbers to the middle of the graph. Are you with me? Hello? Doesn't that make sense? Why we use -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. You could do those, but I ain't drawing the graph all the way out to 13, 14, whatever. Because they may ask us to graph it next. All right, so if they do give me a table and they want me to find out what y is, somebody tell me what we can do to figure out what number goes here. We better use that equation. Somebody read that equation. Who can read?
Y equals 12.
I haven't picked anybody yet. Who can read? All right, Jinx, read it to me.
Y equals 2x plus 1.
All right, so he read it, but do you understand it? Who can tell me what this equation means? That's a different story. Porter, take a shot.
Equals 2 times x plus 1.
Good. I like that better. 2 times x plus 1 more. Are you with me? If you want to know what y is, you got to multiply x times 2 and then add 1 more to it. That will be the number y needs to be. So, don't we know what number x is?
Yeah.
Let's plug it in right here. What's -2 times 2? And what's -4 plus 1 more? Do y'all agree that y should be the number -3 after we do the math that the equation tells us to do? Sweet. Let's plug in the next number. -1. What's 2 times -1?
-2.
What's -2 plus 1 more? You'll agree that the second number in this table needs to be -1. And then we just keep going. What number am I plugging in next? 0. What's 0 times 2?
0.
What's 0 plus the 1? Are you with it? So, when they give you a table and you plug in the numbers for X, do whatever math the equation tells you to do. This one says multiply it times 2 and then add 1 to it. Let's plug in 1. What's 2 times 1?
2.
What's 2 plus 1?
3.
Are you with it? And then plug in the last number, 2. What's 2 times 2? 4. What's 4 plus 1? All right, any questions on how to fill out a table? All right, let's look at a different equation. Oh, then we could graph it if they wanted to graph. Let's go ahead and do that. Now, always go to the x-axis first. Are you with me? So where do I go on the x-axis for this point? Over here?
No.
Where?
-2.
Go over to -2 on the x, and we're going to go to the y number second. So -3 would be down here. So -2, -3 is right here. The x is at -2. The y is at -3. You got to put a point where -2 and -3 intersect. Are you with me? All right, let's go to -1 on the x and go to -1 on the y. It's going to be right there. Let's go to 0 on the x, that's in the middle. Go up to +1 on the y. Put a point. Then let's go to 1 on the x and go up to 3 on the y. And then let's go to 2 on the x and up to +5 on the y. And what kind of graph did it make? Straight, 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 line. You don't say straight linear, you say straight line. That's a line. And does it go through the origin?
Yes.
Liars?
No.
Did you move to Johnson City over the weekend? That don't go through the origin. The origin's right there. That goes through 0, 1, not 0, 0. Questions? Let's look at another one. Lie to me. Don't lie to me. -1/4 x minus 2. And this time, they're going to tell you what numbers they want you to plug in for x. All right, somebody read this equation right here. Madison, read it.
Y is -1/4 times.
Yep.
1/4 times -2.
Times what?
X.
Thank you. -1/4 times x, and then we're going to subtract 2, is what this equation tells us to do. So, -1/4 times x minus 2. All right, what number are we plugging in first?
-8.
-8. Let's plug in -8 where x is. All right, calculator time. -1/4 times -8. 2. And then don't forget to minus the 2. What's 2 minus 2?
0.
So -8 gets graphed at 0. Let's plug in -4. Calculator's going to be handy. What's -4 times -1/4?
-1.
Try again.
1.
1. What's 1 minus 2?
1.
It is not 1.
Negative.
It's -1. All right, let's plug in 0. That one's easy. What's 0 times -1/4? 0. What's 0 minus 2? -2. Then let's plug in 4. What's -1/4 times 4? -1. -1 minus 2? And then the last one, let's plug in 8. What's -1/4 times 8?
-2.
What's -2?